What's up, my beautiful witches and wizards? Welcome to another beautiful week of the world and another creature of the week. So I just wanted to start off by saying thanks to the Squibbler for suggesting that we cover the creatures of the Ilvermorny School. So thank you, Squibbler. Thank you, Tejas. Go check out his channel over at the Squibbler. I'll link it somewhere around here. It'll definitely be down in the description. But go check out his channel. He's doing some pretty cool stuff over there with the Harry Potter games and Pokemon Go. Over the next 4 weeks, I'll be covering the 4 houses or creatures of the Ilvermorny School in America. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you want to continue watching, because they're going to be coming out Monday or Tuesday of each week of the next 4 weeks. Also make sure to drop a comment down below, and then you'll get a say in what the next creature will be after I'm done with the Ilvermorny houses. So before we get to the creature, I'm going to give a little background of Ilvermorny's story. So if you want to check out the Wampus Cat, which is today's video, go ahead and go to this timestamp right there, somewhere over here. And you can check it out, skip the rest of the history if you know it. But it's pretty cool, so stay tuned. Ilvermorny was started by 4 individuals. You had Isolt Slayer, a nomad named James Stewart, and 2 young boys named Chadwick and Webster Boot. Isolt escaped a terrible situation in Ireland by stealing her evil aunt's wand, dressing up like a boy, hopping on a boat, and sailing her way to the New World in Massachusetts. This all happened in the early 17th century. James was a local nomad from the area who just happened to stumble upon Chadwick and Webster's dead parents after they had already been attacked by a magical creature called the Hide-Behind. Isolt and her Pugwudgie William actually stumbled upon the actual fighting happening, and they were able to save the boys and take them back to Isolt's hut to care for them. Upon Isolt's return to bury the dead parents, she found an unconscious James. So James tried to pick up one of the dead parents' wands, and wands don't like muggles, so it just exploded and he got thrown back into a tree and became unconscious that way. So Isolt then took him as well to her hut to help care for him and the 2 boys. One thing led to another, and James and Isolt fell in love and decided to adopt Chadwick and Webster as their own children. And to make this even more official, James was a very, very good handyman, and he was able to construct a nice stone house on top of Mount Greylock in Massachusetts. As the boys got older, they were told secondhand stories of Hogwarts from Isolt, and they wanted to go to a wizarding school when they turned 11 as well. However, there was not a known wizarding school in America at the time, so the 4 decided to start their own wizarding school, pretty much based off Hogwarts, so essentially an American Hogwarts. They decided they didn't want to name their houses after themselves like they did across the pond at Hogwarts, because young Webster thought, well, if there's a house named Webster Boot, it has no chance of winning anything ever. So instead, they decided to choose their favorite magical beasts. Chadwick chose the Thunderbird, who can create storms as it flies. Isolt chose the Horned Serpent, after the one she had met right after she got to America. And there will be more on the Horned Serpent and that whole story, that whole background story, when we get to that video. James didn't really know of any magical creatures being a nomad, so he decided, after hearing all of these stories about the Pukwudgie William that he had heard from Isolt, he decided to go with the Pukwudgie. And finally, Webster chose the magical panther-like creature, the Wampus Cat. These 4 houses are also said to represent the wizard as a whole, as well as you can find the characteristics of each of the founders in the various houses that they created. So the Thunderbird represents the soul, as it favors adventurers. The Horned Serpent represents the mind, because it favors scholars. Pukwudgies represents the heart, because it favors healers. And Wampus represents the body because it favors warriors. Once the four decided on the four houses that they were going to use, the school just grew and grew from there. But that's as far as I'll go for today. The creation and story of Ilvermorny is much longer and much more in detail than what we can cover today, so we can cover that in another video. But for now, we're going to focus solely on my house in Ilvermorny that I got sorted to in Pottermore.com, the Wampus Cat. If you want to be sorted into your Ilvermorny house, go ahead and hit that Pottermore link down in the description below. And now to our creature of the week. This beautiful creature, the Wampus Cat, is very similar to a mountain lion in size and appearance, except that it has 6 very powerful legs. It is super strong, can run really fast, and is almost impossible to kill. Oh, and it can also walk on its hind legs, so there's that. And if that's not scary enough for you, they're also known as being experts in legilimency, which allows the Wampus to read the minds of people and creatures that are around it. Sort of like Queenie in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
You're a legilimens.
Yeah, but I always have trouble with your kind. Brits. It's the accent.
You know how to read minds.
Using its yellow eyes, the Wampus Cat is also said to have the power of hypnosis, which renders the victim essentially unconscious and incapable of voluntary action and very susceptible to suggestions or control. For very obvious reasons, the Wampus Cat is given 5 X's in the Ministry of Magic classification. Although a fun fact is that one of the activities that William the Pukwudgie and Isolt would do before James and the boys came around was actually go watch Wampus kittens playing shortly after they were born. James and Isolt also used Wampus hair as part of the core for the wands that they gave to the Ilvermorny students, because apparently there weren't any wand makers in America at the time either, and since James the No-Maj was such a good woodworker and good with his hands, he was able to make really good wands. Well, that's all I got for the Wampus Cat for this week. Next week we're going to go over the Horned Serpent and kind of talk about its background story with Ilvermorny as well, so we can learn a little bit about that. But if you want to hear about that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button so I know you liked it, and make sure you leave some comments down below so you can suggest what creatures you want to hear in the next few videos. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope you have a magical day.